Hey, what's up everybody? Back again. Um, so the Jeep's coming along. She's almost all together. I've got the front bumper skirt back on. It's gonna be coming back off because I'm trying to figure out how to get a oversized oil cooler put in right there. Other than that, she's coming along. I have a couple little things left to do. The last major part that I have to get is the exhaust system. There is no exhaust right now, as you guys can see right by the steering shaft. Right there. There's no exhaust. So, but other than that, the Jeep's coming along good. I purchased 3 cold air intakes for this Jeep. Hence why I have the factory airbox put back on, is because the cold air intakes were goddamn lies. Even K&N says they have a cold air intake, which is absolutely not true. The cold air intake actually is drawing air through this little spot here and running over the fender. So what you actually get is you get a lot of dirt and crap all over your fender and all over the edge of your hood here from the air being sucked in. And then the other thing is it ends up sucking all the debris off your fire mat. For all you guys out there, this isn't cosmetic. This isn't to make the hood look nice. This is actually what is called a fire mat. This is to prevent the heat from the engine baking the paint off your hood. So make sure you guys have these in your car. If you don't, go to the dealer, ask what the part number is for it, and get one put in, because all cars are required by law to have this. So if you bought a vehicle and it's missing the engine mat, there was a problem. The engine mat fell apart, it came off, it got sucked into the belts. Water usually tears it off, oil tears it off. So make sure you guys have this fire mat on here. They're good to have, and it does make it look clean. The other thing, back to the cold air intake, is they're liars. These manufacturers are liars on cold air intakes. It's not drawing cold air intake. The only cold air it's drawing in is drawing it in from all your nooks and crannies and crevices out of the vehicle, which you're not trying to draw more sediment and debris in through your fenders and stuff. So right now I'm trying to figure out how to do a cold air intake on this thing. So kind of tied up on that. The exhaust is easy enough because I just need to get the Y-pipe assembly with the factory cats. But what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing with this here intake is actually, I think I'm gonna, let me close the hood real quick for you guys. What I think I'm actually gonna do is uniform it on both sides. With that side I'm not going to punch the hood, but this side I think I actually might do some form of louver vent. I've got to find some cars out there that have some nice style louver vents that would be factory on the hood, and then I think I might actually cut the hood out here and put a louver vent with a mesh screen. Not just a mesh screen, but a microfiber screen to prevent any sediment from the road coming in, and then that would be technically a true cold air intake. In order to prevent water coming in, you need to have what is called as a catch pan from underneath that is separated away from the hood, about an inch to 3/4 of an inch away from the hood, and it's got to actually be a cup, and then you need to put a drain plug on it in order for water to, when it rains and everything, that the water does not get into the airbox. And then the air filter needs to be free floating away from the hood, because obviously when you go to open the hood, the filter can't be stuck. So I'm working on trying to figure out something for that. Then I'll have a true cold air intake. Right now I'm just gonna put the factory elbow on. I'm gonna sleeve a piece of poly plastic inside the tube so it's got less air restrictions and it's got clearer airflow. And then I'm just gonna probably just slap a K&N cone filter on it right now, and it's gonna be a hot air intake. on gas engines, I mean, it's the cooler the air, the better. You don't want to draw in ice cold air because then the engine has problems trying to combust the gases and everything. But yeah, just show you guys real quick what the Jeep is looking like. This is the inside of it. Seats are actually pretty freaking clean. I'm still trying to finish cleaning them off. I have to clean this part off, but actually I'm not too worried about it because I'm probably going to get it reupholstered because all the leather is worn off the fabric, the mesh fabric. Sorry guys, there's no light in this thing. I don't have a battery on it right now. Yeah, so if you guys can see that, like, all the leather has come off the fabric. So I'm gonna get the seat replaced. But the interior of this thing is fucking spotless. I mean, this Jeep is just about rust free. I mean, the doors are clean and clear all the way around. I have a couple little spots on the bottom of the rocker that I have to get addressed. I already fixed all of this. There was, after I got done painting, doing the first prep coat, I noticed that there was 2 dimples here. There was still a little dimple here, and this just didn't look cleanly round off for me, so I did a little bit more Bondo touch up. But I've already got this part done. All the way up. So no more messed up paint, no more fucked up body. I still have to do the driver or the passenger side, but other than that, Jeep's coming along nicely. Can't wait to get this engine fired up. I'm hoping to fire it up in like the next 2 weeks, depending on if I get some of this equipment sold that I no longer. If you guys know what I'm struggling over, I'm trying to get the bungee cord reset back on the hood because these lift cylinders are bad. I do need to replace those, but me personally, I give a rat's ass about them. I got fucking broom handles and sticks and freaking landscape stakes and stuff that I can use all the time. The wife and I, we actually use an umbrella, the car's umbrella. But yeah, this is everything. I have a brand new battery right here. Just trying to get everything else cleaned up. I lost the bolts to the alternator. I'm very meticulous on doing my engines and everything, and the only reason I lost those bolts is because I have an identical Jeep, and the alternator, I felt that the alternator was going bad, so I swapped the alternator, and when I went to go pull the bolts out, this bolt and that bolt were the wrong bolts. They were actually only in like a half of a thread. I mean, I barely touched them and they broke free, so the alternator technically wasn't mounted, so I took the bolts from this Jeep, the correct bolts, to put them on my Jeep so my wife had a vehicle for work. And I had my Silverado at that time, and I had the bolts in the door panel, and I ended up trading my Silverado for my Crown Victoria, and I cleared everything out, and I don't know why I didn't think of anything of it, but I thought those bolts were for the truck. Sold the truck, no more bolts, so I'm waiting for my buddy Mickey at Midwestern Auto Salvage in Elgin, Illinois, to get back to me when they get their next 4.7 liter in, so I can snag these 3 bolts off of it. So it should be any day now. I should be getting those. Once I get those bolts, I can go ahead and tighten down the belt. The belt's already pretty much pre-run. It's exactly like this. The only thing is it's skipped the tensioner. So the tensioner, I just have to tension it up. I don't want to tension it up until the bolts are on, and then I just have to go underneath, do a couple little tightenings on the bottom of the engine, and then this thing is all ready to go. I have some of the emissions and stuff I'm going to put in. I'm debating on pulling that charcoal canister from the rear of the car and putting it here to where there are factory on other Jeeps. I'm debating on putting it there so I can eliminate this whole line set up to the back. If this stainless steel line set runs to the back and is stainless steel as far back as possible, I'm actually debating on finding out what the pressure specifications are on this tubing, and I might actually convert this tube right here to a rear brake line, because it's stainless. It won't rot out, and if I'm not using it, I might as well utilize it and run that one to the back. This line right here, depending on how it is, I might make this one like a rear secondary washer fluid line from off the washer fluid to the rear. So that's all an if. That depends on if I feel like freaking bringing the charcoal canister up to the front here, and pulling the wire harnesses and all. If not, it's just gonna stay in the back, and I'm gonna utilize those for the evap solenoid, so that way that one stays up front here. But other than that, everybody, the Jeep's coming along. Next project I do believe will be my Crown Victoria. I have a leaking intake manifold, so I think I'm going to see what kind of intake manifold I can get for that, and I might do the top end on my Vic because I know the bottom end is solid and sound. So next project's going to be my Crown Victoria. Other than that, stay tuned, guys. More videos coming up here very, very soon.